Brennan, the three stooges, the three crooks who led the Justice Department, who led the National Security Intelligence apparatus, and conspired to overthrow President Trump. All three lied under oath. Comey was fired. President Trump revoked each of their security clearances, and people were wondering, why can't this president like these three gentlemen early on? You remember those days? Joining us tonight, Andrew McCarthy. Andy is the former chief assistant U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York, worked in the office for 18 years, now a National Review contributing editor, Fox Business contributor, and always a great American. Andy, good to have you. But all that he's insinuated, said directly and specifically against this president and his administration, I have to tell you, my blood boils when I think about it.
Well, I think, Lou, that this has always been fundamentally an impeachment investigation.
Oh, no doubt.
And, well, so they have to get done and get the report to the House. It's obvious that it's been winding down. I think I read something this afternoon that Mueller's very large staff is down to 12 lawyers, and some of them are contacting their old employers about going back to work. So this thing has been downsizing and kind of down to the short strokes for a while now.
Yeah, I personally think, I know that that's your theory. My theory is that it was in place of an impeachment, which they couldn't possibly carry out. And controlling the House doesn't mean much when you basically have Adam Schiff as the chief provocateur. He's an impotent and ineffective congressman. God knows he wouldn't be able to lead such an effort successfully. I frankly think that they are fools who now realize their hour is over and the remainder of the days, and I'm talking about 6 years of days, remain with this president. What do you think?
Well, I think we have to be clear on what we're talking about with respect to impeachment. I still think the president will be, I think there's probably 3 chances out of 4 that he will be impeached, in the sense that the Democratic-controlled House of Representatives will file articles of impeachment. I don't think he'll ever be removed.
Now, if you're talking about impeachment from, from Green, from Schiff, the usual suspects, Nadler, right. I mean, these are left-wing bozos, for crying out loud. One couldn't control them no matter what the facts. The facts are that there is nothing to bring impeachment proceedings for, other than the offended hearts of these left-wing radicals.
Yeah, I just wanted to be clear that I wasn't suggesting I thought the president was going to be removed, but I think that there's a high likelihood.
Clarity of these days.
Well, but I just think that Mueller needs to get the report done, because if there's going to be an impeachment in the House, he's got to get it to them.
Yeah, well, there's nothing that says that he has to get it to them, only that he has to get it to the Attorney General, as you well know. The Attorney General certainly would not, I would hope, would not be eager to share that report with a bunch of, as I said earlier, left-wing bozos. Who think that these minutes that they hold are going to turn into hours and days. I don't believe so. Let's turn to Clapper on CNN saying it's going to be anti-climactic. This is one of the folks in the intelligence community, along with Brennan, along with Comey, then following on now with the DNI, Dan Coates, and the others. I mean, what is going on with this intelligence community that they have the effrontery to talk as they do to this president in this disrespectful manner and publicly contradict the president's policy choices?
Well, look, I think, Lou, that when these guys were running, particularly Clapper and Brennan, when they were running the intelligence community, the intelligence community famously had politicized intelligence product. They're now out of the intelligence community, and they sound more like partisan operatives than former intelligence guys. And they're clearly politically opposed to the president. So I think they're now doing from the outside what they were, largely doing from the inside before this.
And it would be nice if the national left-wing media had the integrity to acknowledge that the president was right about those three gentlemen, and and has been vindicated by the partisanship they've demonstrated and tried to wield against him as president. I want to turn to the idea that this president, no matter what, has been innocent throughout, but now he has a known corrupt leadership at the Department of Justice, at the FBI. And I don't know if that can be, those agencies, that department can be, well, can it ever have its integrity restored and the public's trust restored, because it's taken a severe beating over the course of these attacks over 3 years against this president.
Yeah, well, you and I have talked about this before, Lou, and I'm not as pessimistic about that as you are. I think what has to happen is there has to be accountability. There's got to be a credible investigation, soup to nuts, of what went on here. And I think Attorney General Barr is committed to making sure that that happens. So I expect that they'll take a long look at this, and if
we don't need a long look. We've had enough long looks, Andy. I got to interrupt you. I'm tired of the Justice Department and the FBI. It's a place where truth goes to die, where if you want to hide the truth, you start an FBI investigation. You don't hear about Benghazi. You don't hear what's happened to all of these people who we know committed crimes, who were guilty of outright political corruption.
Lou, at any moment, the president could unseal all this stuff and put it out publicly.
Well,
he's chosen not to do that.
That time, in my judgment, Andy, has arrived. Arrived some time ago, as a matter of fact. But the idea of another lengthy investigation.
Lou, I hear he takes your calls.
Well, I don't know that he does take my calls, that often. What would you say would be a regular kind of occurrence?
I'd say even if you could do it once, put a bug in his ear. We need some disclosure.
You know what? I will give it my very best effort to get through that White House switchboard. I'm going to try just for you, Andy McCarthy, and the nation. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Lou.
Great to see you.